my instructor, Stoon, who is still a DJ, he gave me the opportunity to DJ nightclubs, and I'm 18 at the time.
Wow.
These clubs are 21+-year-olds, and I was DJing weekly and never really looked back from that. I would say 2 years into my DJ career, I gained the interest of producing my own music because I felt like the ceiling was pretty low as a DJ for me to grow as the artist. Who I see myself as, I never really looked back from that. Like, it's been 15 years. I was teaching in Taekwondo too, so I have this like inherent ability to teach people. I think meeting people in person is worth a million times than just sending a DM or an email. I want to give you a perfect example. I saw this post about Mousetrap having this label conference in LA, and I looked at it and I'm like, this is the label I want to be a part of. What's the next logical step?
Brian, thanks for coming over to Tiny Table Radio. I think it's very serendipitous and cool how we met. I want to start there because you're the first artist that I've met in Pita Palace. So shout out to Pita Palace on Graham Avenue,
Right.
which, by the way, has bomb pitas. So if you're in the area, I think anybody should go, not to promote them or anything, but it's great. So I'm really glad that our paths crossed. Somehow the conversation about music and electronic music came up. I don't quite remember, but I'm really glad that it did because here you are. So Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be in your space.
Yeah.
And giving me the opportunity to, share my experience as a DJ and a music producer.
Yeah.
An artist.
I would love to know the story of how you got started with all of that.
Sure, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Right. So let's rewind. When I was a 13-year-old boy, I was partaking in Taekwondo, which is a martial arts, Korean martial arts. And the person who you met at Pita Palace was my instructor, my Taekwondo instructor. And he would play house music during our sessions. And, I didn't really think too much about it. I just got really consumed with the genre of music that he was, playing during our sessions. And then I don't know how the conversation became about, but I found out that he was a promoter and a DJ at the time. I asked him about it, and I said, hey, I want to go to clubs. I was like, at this time when I asked him about it, I was about 16. He said, oh, you wait until you're 18 and I'll bring you to the club. And I waited 2 years and he finally introduced me to the nightclub scene. And I was like, oh, wow, cool. This is amazing. I saw him DJing and I gained a little bit of interest in that. And he was playing the same type of music that he was playing during our Taekwondo sessions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just asked him, like, how do I get about this? How do I go about this? And he's like, oh, just download this software called Virtual DJ. And you can download it on your laptop and you can start mixing things in. And great, cool. So I would say a year later, or within that year, I was in France. I started dabbling in Virtual DJ, started mixing the songs together. And I said, wow, this is fun. This is awesome. And I want to do more of this. And I started sending my mixes out to my friends. And I don't know, one thing led to another. I couldn't really separate myself from this journey. And my friends started asking me, hey, you want to DJ our parties? And that's how it kind of started like snowballing, right? Sure. And then thankfully enough, my instructor, Stoon, who is still a DJ, he gave me the opportunity to DJ nightclubs. And I'm 18 at the time.
Wow.
These clubs are for 21+-year-olds. And thankfully, he snooked me in kind of thing. Yeah. And I started DJing almost on a weekly basis in Meatpacking District. I was literally in the same circuit as the rest of the DJs. And I was just either opening or closing for Stoon. And I don't know, a lot of people saw me as the DJ kid in college at this point. Yeah. And I started bringing my friends out. I was DJing weekly and never really looked back from that. And I would say 2 years into my DJ career, I gained the interest of producing my own music because I felt like the ceiling was pretty low as a DJ for me to grow as the artist, who I see myself as. And I never really looked back from that. It's been 15 years.
Wow. And did you want to pursue anything else before? You were obviously you were in school. Yeah. You said you went to college. Was there ever like a plan B or an alternative path, or once you were hooked, you're like, this is where I'm going?
Yeah, I was instantly hooked with the concept of playing music for other people. Because I went to EZU, which is a festival, or was a festival in New York, and I experienced listening to my favorite electronic music live in big sound PA systems. And I felt that. And I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I want to do the same thing for other people. But before that, I'm kind of stubborn. If I like something, I'll just do it until it's done.
Yeah.
Like before, I was like, my vision was to be, to do Taekwondo and just like go through the whole circuit of like becoming an Olympian. All right. And well, I got injured at one point, and I'm like, all right, that's it for that. But yeah, it was either Taekwondoist, and next logical step was just to continue my artist career.
What do you think it was that students saw in you while you were an 18-year-old DJing at these clubs where he wanted to keep bringing you back? Because, I mean, I don't think he would just do that for any kid, right? So
Sure.
What do you think that was?
I would go to Taekwondo every day. And that was like, I was dedicated to that craft, right? And maybe he saw that in me, that, being dedicated to music, he could put his trust in me, that I'm able to put my best foot forward, bring my friends to these gigs, play good music, and he trusts my taste because I was influenced by the type of music he was playing. So he kind of trusted me in that. And our relationship really haven't broken because we've been friends for the past 20 years,
Yeah. Besides him, who were some of your early influences in terms of the music you really like to play, and even starting out with production?
Like Stu, like he's a reason why. It's his fault.
Surprised he's not here now.
Yeah, right. It's his fault. He should talk to my parents. So he would put out these mixes, 1 hour mixes, and I was really influenced by the type of music that he would incorporate in his mixes. And one song was The Longest Road, was a remix by Deadmau5, and that really resonated with me. And another song, he had included Leave the World Behind You, which also was a huge impact on my career. So those songs really meant a lot and kind of shaped my whole artist trajectory, because I came from a house music background in that sense. And that kind of like evolved into, it actually opened doors to my curiosity and see what other songs are out there. And it naturally formed into this techno realm, but it kind of has this house background or house flavor.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm not playing banging techno, because me personally, doesn't resonate with me. It needs to have this like house influence, if that makes sense. And when I do play my set, you hear that.
Sure. Since you started producing, which you said it was DJing for about 15 years now, so production probably just slightly less than that, right?
Yeah.
You've since not only produced a lot of tracks yourself, but you mentor other younger producers, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about how that came about. How you go, you know what, I want to pay it forward and start teaching other people.
Two things. How can I become a better producer? And my logical thinking was, okay, the best way to become a better producer is to teach it, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like this, you provide something of value and you get something in return for it, right? And I want to focus on the word providing value as the key term here.
Yeah.
Because, like you do need to put something out there of value for people to see it as value for them, so they can, buy into what you're putting out there. So I was like, okay, let me start teaching people. It was super cheap when I first started.
Yeah.
Because I just want to get the reps in, because I was trying to figure out what the structure looked like and so on and so forth. So I had about like a handful of students, like 4 students, but it was like one student referring another student, referring another student, and so on and so forth. And I've been teaching for about, I would say about like 4 years of this recording, but it's been 4 years of like doing it 3 times a week,
Yeah.
And I love teaching. And going back to my Taekwondo days, I was teaching Taekwondo too. So I have this like inherent ability to teach people. And I love teaching people. I love telling people like my information and my experiences and telling people what to do. So I love doing that.
You don't strike me as like a like very rigid, like drill sergeant type of teacher, but what is your teaching style like?
I'm pretty strict.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, you fooled me.
I can be bubbly. I'm very personable. I can sit with the student and teach them. I'm not, strong-holding them, but I make sure that the concepts are easily understandable to somebody who's never touched music production before. And I love teaching music production. I love it. There's nothing else I can say about it, but I do love teaching.
That's amazing.
Music. Yeah.
How would you say you've become a better producer since you started teaching?
Well, as a teacher, you kind of need to know your material.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, I guess that's important.
So you really have to understand the concept in depth, learn so much about it to the point you're like, okay, now how can I make this easily digestible for a student? And I believe my production has improved since, because as I'm teaching, I'm like, well, I should be doing that too in my productions, like, oh, that makes sense. The way that I articulated the topic has led me to understand the topic better.
Has there ever been a student who's surprised you and shown you something that you actually picked up and started using?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I actually encourage my students to learn from me as much as possible, and then do your due diligence and figure out like different techniques. And then when we get together, then you teach me like, oh, how do you do that? That's how you. Okay, great.
Nice.
I do learn a lot from my students. It's a give and take situation.
Let's switch a little bit into like your performances and your music. When you're DJing now, do you only play your tracks or do you still incorporate other artists?
So I still mix and match my songs, right? Okay. I think for every artist, at least some point in their journey, they're kind of hesitant to play their own music.
Yeah.
It's like, how's it gonna sound in the context of the rest of these songs? But I would say that you kind of need to break away from that and start playing your own stuff. There is this one moment I just remembered, and this was years ago, and I was playing at this little lounge. Well, it's a little club. It was behind the Gansevoort, I believe. It only fits about like 30 people. I would say, let's say 50.
Okay.
And
intimate.
Yeah, it was very intimate. And this girl comes up to me with her iPhone. And I was like, oh, okay. It's going to be like another song request. It's going to be another song request.
Bad Bunny.
And I'm just thinking of all the like excuses in the back of my head. I'm like, okay. And so I was, hey, how's it going? And she's like, oh, can you play this song? And I looked closely. It was my song.
What?
And I was like, I'll play that.
Yeah. The best request ever, right?
Yeah. I was like, I'll play that. And she's like, oh, I really love this song. I really like it.
Huh.
And
did she know that you made that song?
I hope so.
Did you know her before?
I didn't.
Okay. So
it was
random
like
person.
Random person. Maybe she, like if your artist is playing locally, it will notify you through Spotify that person's here. Mm-hmm. Maybe she got that notification. Yeah. I didn't have a conversation with her, so okay. I don't know the extent of how maybe she knew that who I was. I have no idea. Maybe she did. Maybe. Sure. Let's assume she did.
Yeah.
So I saw the request and I was really excited, and that meant a lot to me. I to this day, like it's there in my storage bank.
How long ago was that?
7 years ago. It was quite some time, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's a very special moment because that means, hey, as an artist, you should put your music out there because you never know. But it might impact somebody positively, and that person's probably playing my music still.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a very special moment for me.
So would you say that was one of the moments in your career where you're like, there was some level of validation you could kind of level up a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some type of validation of people, praising your music in a sense where they're like, oh, I love your music. And sometimes this is a thing that maybe only for me that I have with myself is like when people praise my music, I'm like, oh, you're just saying that. You know, like, are you just saying that just because,
Like,
right?
to be nice to your face.
Yeah. I don't know. And I came to terms with myself as just take the compliment.
Yeah.
You know, because it might be genuine, and let's assume that it is. And just hearing that often enough actually encouraged me to play more of myself in my sets. So to answer your question, yeah, I still mix and match my songs with songs that really resonates with me, because maybe not all my songs are right for certain moments during a set.
Right.
But the ultimate goal is to have a full set of my music, which I freaking do. Sorry to curse.
No, it's fine. You're allowed.
Yeah, I have a shit ton of music, and you know, maybe after this interview, I'll have a full set of my my songs.
Yeah, and you've been in the game for quite some time relative to, you know, a lot of artists, at least locally, and, you know, trying to make it on a bigger stage. What are some pieces of advice that you would give them, or even yourself, when you were first starting out in this journey?
You should put your music out. And a lot of artists say that. A lot of successful artists, they always regret saying, you know, they always say, well, I wish I put more music out when I first started. That's like everyone's like regret. Yeah. And it's true. It might not resonate with you 100%, but it might resonate with somebody else at the end of the day. So yeah, put your music out there, get out there, right? In the sense of, I would say, go to the clubs that you want to be a part of. Find the collectives that are playing the same type of music that you want to play, and go meet them. And we're in this world where everything's digital, and it's great, but I believe it should be used as an outlet rather than relying it on 100% to connect with somebody, although it is there. I think meeting people in person is worth a million times than just sending a DM or an email.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to give you a perfect example. Talking about the topic of meeting people in person and how effective that is. So I saw this advertisement or a post about Mousetrap having this label conference in LA. And I looked at it and I'm like, this is a label I want to be a part of. What's the next logical step? All right, I'm going to book my flight. That was a no-brainer. And I feel like a lot of artists would be hesitant to do something like that, in the sense of they'll start thinking about the cost of a flight, the cost of an Airbnb, the cost of everything else that comes with traveling to a different state. And mind you, we're in New York, and LA is on the other side of the country.
Right. And also the risk of it, something might not actually come through with showing up.
Sure. And for me, I didn't want to set any expectations on the end result of being or going to this label conference, this panel. I just wanted to be in the same room as these people, because I can trust myself to communicate with people. I think I'm a personal person, so I bet on myself that I can do that.
Yeah.
So I booked my flight. I get over there, and the way that it was set up, there was a Q&A with the A&R of Mousetrap and Neon Owl, who is responsible for putting this together. And Q&A with the panel, then it proceeded to a feedback session, and they picked only like five songs. And the way they do it, they'll call your name out, you get in a hot seat, and the A&R will give you feedback. And that was it. That was like the gist of what it was. And they called my name second. That was a surprise. And I was like, oh, cool. This is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And
How many people put their names in to get called?
I don't know. I'm not too sure how many people submitted their music, but I'm sure all of them did.
Yeah, right.
Because that's the reason why they're...
Yeah, so that's a good sign. You got second name called.
Yeah, and there was no expectation, right? So, and mind you, there was a 1 hour mixer prior to that, which I totally missed. I was late for that. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to, think about that. I just missed my opportunity, right? So they call my name and they play my music and they give me feedback, and that was that. And I go sit back down where everyone was sitting, and the CEO of Mousetrap, Jessica Wilson, comes up to me. She's like, I want to sign your track.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Wow.
And hey, buddy. And I was like, okay, cool. This is awesome. But I need to follow up with that. I can't just let that go because she kind of like disappeared afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I saw there was a Red Bull on the table. I cracked it open, drank it. And I was like, okay, I need to go find her. And I found her. So
Nice.
we had a conversation. I let her know like what I'm doing currently and the amount of music I have. And she's like, yeah, send me everything.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, great. This is awesome. She gave me her email, and then we kind of like carried the conversation via email with her and the A&R, Jimmy. Amazing person. Both of them are amazing.
Nice.
And we had a Zoom call and afterwards, and we started talking about my goals and stuff like that, what they do at Mousetrap, what I do currently. And she kind of like slipped it in, and she was like, oh, we're doing Dead Mouse is having a show in Red Rocks in Denver in next month. You can come if you like, and we'll let you meet the team. I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right, next logical thing to do, book my flight to.
Did you stay out west? Did you go from LA to Denver?
It was LA to New York to Denver.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's the next logical thing I need to do. And the thing they kept mentioning was that they're really impressed of the fact that I showed up in person and I took the initiative. And that's what I kind of want to bring back, like this whole callback of meeting people in person, because I throw my own events. And for the most part, we book artists who show up. Like we have so many requests on a daily basis to DJ our events.
Sure.
And okay, we never met. Like I'm cool. We'll put your name in the hat for sure if we need a DJ.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely listen to your music if it fits. But the people who are first in line are the people who we saw multiple times at our events. And we're like, okay, this person is showing initiative. They're really hungry for this opportunity. Yeah, we'll give it to them.
Yeah. People who show up, they're contributing to the event by being there, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, it's not if you show up just because you enjoy it and with no expectations, kind of like you, that's really the best way to do it organically. Is just be a friendly person, show up, support people.
I couldn't agree more. And at the end of the day, it's being personable, having a personality, showing up, showing initiative. Because if you're about this artist career, you have to put 100% into it, like you have to, I'm here. And I know I'm rambling, but one thing I would love to highlight is to have perfect attendance. And I always had perfect attendance when I was in school, not in college though, but when my parents told me to go to school and my dad's like, you need to, wake up and go to school. Like we need to have perfect attendance. I always had a perfect attendance award for every year, elementary school, middle school, high school. I had perfect attendance, never got detention. And that concept with me, that's a few things I learned from school and my parents.
No, that's great. And really, like you said, things are so digital these days that being able to make a connection in real life, it does stand out, right? So that's how you can build better relationships, just like we met at Peter Palace.
Yeah, exactly.
But you did mention that you throw events too in there. So let's talk about that. Decoded, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that. How did that start? Because DJing, producing, teaching producers.
Yeah.
When was Decoded formed?
Oh, wow. Okay. So Decoded is technically my third event brand.
Okay.
But that's the one that stuck. Mm-hmm. All right. And I want to highlight that because this is not my first one.
Yeah.
It took different iterations of different event brands to happen for me to get to the point of having Decoded. Gotcha. I had Origins. I did it with my best friend Dylan Ferrugia, who is known as Disco. Little shout out, right?
Yep.
So we're still good friends, loving to death. And we started Origins, and then we proceeded to have a third partner. And we started Samsara, another shout out.
Yeah.
And there was a certain point during that venture of some sort, which was catered towards, I would say, organic house, down-tempo, melodic techno in a way.
Yeah.
I
think I went to a few of those.
Yeah. Oh, sure. What's up? And yeah, so we did that for a few years.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I didn't feel attached to it anymore. And that's naturally, I just kind of felt myself drifting away from it. I didn't have love for it anymore. And I left. And I was like, okay, I still want to throw events, but I want to throw events with the music that I enjoy and that I feel like New York can also appreciate. And I was contemplating, and it was actually started with me and my girlfriend, Charity. She's amazing in terms of being creative. She's a very creative individual in terms of like, she does the graphic for us. She does AI art. She does the visuals, the animations.
Wow.
So even before then, we were coming up with some names, and I remember going down the hallway of my studio building, and I saw a book on the floor, and I picked it up, and it said Decoded. It was written by Jay-Z.
Oh.
And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Charity, what do you think about the name Decoded? She said, oh, that's cool. I was like, all right, I think we're gonna go with this.
Thanks, Tove.
Yeah. And that was like the universe giving me like a bone, you know?
Yeah.
And so we started crafting up the branding for Decoded. And luckily enough with Decoded, I had a group of friends who also believed in the brand, right? And we started working with this this concept of throwing events. And we started out with a venue of like 100 people, right? And lucky enough, we can fill that at that time. Actually, I'm really fortunate because even thinking back to my first time throwing in events, we only had a handful of people, less than like 20 people, right?
Sure.
So I was really fortunate enough that, one, I think the name is super familiar because people like when I say, oh, Decoded, like, oh yeah, I think I've heard Decoded. Yeah, it was our first event. You know what I mean? Like no one knows, right? But fortunate enough, it kind of drew attention. We had 100 people, amazing. And we kind of like kept going, and we were still consistent. We throw events once a month. It just drew people organically. I think it was, one, the type of music that we were putting out, and two, the branding.
Yeah.
Right. And I thank my girlfriend for that indefinitely, you know.
Nice.
It organically grew, and now we're doing bigger clubs like Superior Ingredients, Silo, and those places hold. It's your time.
Yeah.
Like,
Hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds, 400, 500. We have a show next week at Elsewhere that holds 1,000 plus.
Yep.
Right?
Great. Yeah.
So, yeah, we're about to approach our third year with Decoded, and time flew. Wow. Time flew, and because I think we're just like focused on like the next event, the next event. And yeah, Decoded is the one that stuck.
What do you think it is about Decoded that made it stick versus the other ones?
I'm gonna be transparent.
Yeah, do it.
And I believe it's the collective who generally believe in the business, and people can feel that. If you're about it and you really believe that this can be something, and you have a vision for it, and then you can articulate it, then people might buy into it, and people can feel it, and people will resonate, and they'll get drawn to the brand. And
for those who haven't heard of it or seen it or experienced it yet, how would you describe the
Decoded?
brand? Yeah.
I would say that it is a techno brand in the sense that we play techno music, right? Peak time techno. But how it's different from different brands is that we like to showcase weird humanoid-esque figures in our branding. And we do that because, one, also, like, I think it's a combination of me and Charity just being very creative and just being kind of weird, because when she does cook up some graphics, I'm like, either weirder or that's weird enough. Right?
Okay.
And it's supposed to kind of symbolize that in this decoded world, you're able to become who you want to be. You'll be able to not be in this reality where this box, right? You can break out of the box and be this weird entity.
Yeah, it's very like futuristic and also like a little bit esoteric.
Yeah,
kind of just out there, abstract perhaps, but also kind of like you get this sense of like machinery or like humanoid type of vibe with it too. So I think it is weird in the best way. We're fans of weird over here too.
Yeah,
so.
You got to be weird.
Yeah, exactly. What do you see next as the vision for Decoded then? Is it just to continue to find venues that fit the vibe and just keep growing that way organically, or do you have, what's on the vision board for it?
I see Decoded as being a worldwide brand. I want Decoded in LA, Miami, Japan. In the sense that like it's a touring brand worldwide, and that's what I want for Decoded, and that's what we're working towards. It shouldn't be exclusive to New York. Everyone should experience Decoded. And the tagline that I have for Decoded is "I've been decoded," and I want everyone to say that.
Nice. It's good branding.
Yeah, thank you.
You said you get a lot of requests for people to play in your events, right? And obviously showing up and contributing and adding value to the community is a great way to do it. But how do you, besides that, and probably just, does the sound or the music or the mix that somebody gives to you like fit the mold of what you're trying to do? Like how else do you really filter through and pick the people that you want on the lineup?
There is a filtration system.
Yeah,
for sure.
We
can't just have everyone DJ.
All right.
But they have to fit the mold. And I feel like I'm just giving away cards, but if you want to DJ Decoded, here are the steps.
I mean, if you want to keep it closed book, you can. It's totally your call.
First and foremost, we as a DJ, we want to make sure that you're putting out the music that resonates with you. You shouldn't have to shift or mold yourself into Decoded if it doesn't fit naturally. Like if you've been playing Afro House for the entirety of your DJ career and you want to play Decoded and you're like, I could play, techno, like then we're gonna look at that as like, okay, then if you're known for Afro House and all your friends know you as this Afro House DJ, it's not gonna really mesh well.
Sure.
Right? Because you want people who are genuinely excited about playing the type of music that we put out, which is tech house leaning techno.
Yep.
Because we have this range here. We don't go too hard into the techno realm. That's not us. There's other brands that cater towards that demographic. Mm-hmm. We still want to keep it dancey, groovy, but in the sense of it's a little bit faster and a little bit, you can move your shoulders still.
Yeah.
But so one, make sure that your Instagram looks healthy in the sense that you look like an artist, right? You look like you've been doing this for quite some time. Even if you're just starting out, put some effort into your portfolio, if you will.
Sure.
Put mixes out there, show up at our events. And I love to take a beat when it comes to coming to our events, because the way that you come into a Decoded event, it should be looking like a video game in the sense of who do I need to talk to so that I can get the opportunity to play at Decoded, right? You don't have to talk to me, although cool, if you find me, great. But
say hi.
Yeah, you can say hi, what's up? But you can find people who work within Decoded.
Sure.
So then, it'll give you a better chance to play at Decoded because a referral means a lot.
Again, the real life.
Yeah, real life.
Yeah.
Real life. If if
someone can vouch for you kind of thing.
Exactly. Play the video game, talk to people, right? Ask them who works with Decoded, right? And that person will point you to another person, and another person will point you to another person. If you're lucky enough, you might hit it out of the ballpark with the first person you meet who actually works at Decoded, right? But it's a video game, and it should be treated as that. You shouldn't put too much pressure on the fact that okay, I'm at Decoded. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of like, well, you missed your shot there.
Yeah.
Because talking is how you meet people.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
I always tell my students this.
You have to put yourself out there for sure.
Yeah.
So you said healthy Instagram profile is a piece of it too. I'm curious, as someone who does, book for an event, do you look or listen first?
That's a good question. So I leave this responsibility to my booker.
You're like, I don't do that.
Yeah, I used to, and I wanted to separate myself from being that person. But I do give like the green light, but I do trust my booker, Brian, who does the bookings. And there you go, guys. You have another person you can search now.
How does he go about it?
So we do have like a criteria for sure. Yeah, music is number one for sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
Music is first, then we'll look
Got you.
everything else.
Cool.
Yeah.
Some insider info there on if anyone wants to play Decoded. But, I think even just generally speaking for events or for, connecting with a collective like that, I don't think it would be much different for anybody else who runs events. They would probably say something very similar.
Sure.
So, yeah. It's not like a crazy rocket science thing, but it is, show up, be prepared, have good music.
Yeah.
Like it is, I think one thing that I've noticed between artists who are earlier on in their careers versus artists who have done it much longer is the professionalism. Like just, you cross your T's, you dot your I's, you know what to expect, you know what it comes with, and it is a business and work. Yes, it's creative. Yes, it's fun. But really the ones who have continued to rise, I've noticed at least, have really kept it professional in that sense.
Yeah, and I have to agree on that because at the end of the day, even as an artist, you're a business. I'm sorry to say, but it is what it is because you're putting your music out there and that music is the product and it's for somebody to consume it in the sense of, they either use it for, casual, listening, or they might play it at like a birthday party or an event, or another DJ might play it at their event, right? They're purchasing your music.
Yep.
You have to have a certain level of business knowledge to be in this game. And I think that goes for any industry in a sense.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to be professional at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like don't I'm going to eat my words, but if you're more professional than the next person who isn't taking it seriously, where the artist who is in their bedroom and just produces music all day and doesn't really put anything out there, you'll do a lot better than that person who is, let's say, quote unquote, talented, versus if you have some talent, you show initiative.
Yeah.
People will see that and then bring you on because at the end of the day, people invest in people.
Yep. So let's switch into you as an artist now and your production style. We've talked about, you teaching, you throwing events, you DJing. I want to open the hood a little bit into your creative process and tell me what it's like when you are producing tracks. Walk me through that a little bit.
I just had like a flashback. I'm like, fuck, this doesn't work. The workflow of me producing a track. I would say it's very structured in a way where I know what stage of the production process that I'm in, and that the way that looks, and hopefully those who are listening can steal that and apply it for themselves. So I generate a few ideas. It might be 3 ideas, and the reason because I don't want to run off with the first idea because the third idea might be better. So it'd be a lot easier for me to choose from options and run off with the one that's more exciting, right? So after I take that one idea, then I'll generate variations from it, and then technically sections. And then I'll put it into an arrangement, which is very formulaic. Then I'll get into the mix down session, which I love to do. It's very technical, and I love being technical with music production. And then afterwards, I'll submit it for feedback. And who I submit it to feedback, people, either DJs or my close friends who are producers.
Sure.
a girlfriend, she has a good ear for music. And when I submit it to people who aren't technical, if they're tapping their toes or bobbing their head, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
All right. I don't need, I don't like this part. Well, they will tell me, you know, and then I have to figure out why they don't like that part.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I'll change it entirely, but it's good feedback because at the end of the day, it's for the general mass because, you know, people in the crowd aren't all producers or technical. Right. They're just listening to what is being pushed out of the speakers. Right. And if it moves them, that's the main goal of the song. You kind of rinse and repeat that process. And the one question that I get hit a lot is, how do I steer away from perfectionism, right? Yeah. I think every artist goes down this route where they'll tweak. And this process kind of alleviated that because now I have a defined goal, which is to get to the feedback portion of my workflow, right? Then submit it. And one thing I keep at the back of my head is like, okay, does it do the job? All right, next. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Next. Because I don't want to say I don't care about my music, but I'm not suffocating it anymore. Where I did in the beginning of my producer journey, where I'm like, it needs to be perfect. Yeah. But what does that even mean?
How long did it take you to get past that?
I would say within recently.
So a long time.
Yeah, it takes a while. Yeah, it just takes a while.
Sure. I think it's an artist dilemma too, right?
Yeah, you have to convince yourself, hey, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it does the job, then great.
During the process before you make it to feedback, and you said you have a pretty solid system at this point, is there a specific tool, whether that's analog or digital, that you is just kind of your go-to either plugin or MIDI or synth?
It would have to be Serum 2.
Yeah.
Serum 2 is the goated plugin. Yeah, I love it. It does what I needed to do. It's clean and allows me to dirty it up later in the process.
For sure.
I do have a hardware synth, which I don't use. It's just sitting in the studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, Serum 2.
Do you use like a similar preset with it every time for, either a bass or a synth, or do you kind of mess with that within those three ideas that you're making?
I'm going to be honest, I just use two sawtooth waveforms.
Yep.
The default, waveforms and the oscillators, and I just make a sound from there and call it a day. I don't
keep it simple.
Yeah,
if it works, it works. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I keep it simple. And
I'm curious, do you always start with kind of the same elements first, whether that's bass line, drums, synth, melody, when you're creating those ideas?
It depends what type of theme I'm going for. And the way that I describe the theme is the main character of the song, whether it might be a melody or if it's a groove element. If it's it varies, but as of right now, what I've been doing is creating more groove-based techno songs.
Cool.
At some point, I kind of want to branch off and do more melodic stuff.
Okay. I was going to ask if there has been a genre or an artist outside of what you're typically producing that's caught your ear lately.
Tyler, the Curator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I went to his concert a couple months ago.
Okay.
And blew my mind.
Yeah?
He had 2 stages. Half of his concert was on that stage, on the right, where he was wearing this costume, cornucopia. He did his thing there. Then a bridge came down. And then he did a performance on the bridge. And that blew my mind. I've never seen anything like that. He gets over to the other stage, was his living room. He was going through his vinyls and picking out songs and putting onto the record player, the vinyl record player, and playing his songs. Amazing. And it really inspired me because I was talking to Jimmy, the A&R of Mousetrap. And I was like, is there a situation where the DJ is not bound to this DJ desk? And he's like, yeah, if you put stuff different places in the stage, maybe, sure. There's a certain level of interaction with the crowd when you're just there, which is fine because then you have visuals and that kind of, I feel like there needs to be more of this interaction with the crowd, because I came from a background. Thankfully, my dad exposed me to concerts at a young age and still does. I used to go to concerts once a month with my dad at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I've seen Rolling Stones, I've seen AC/DC, I've seen Billy Joel, I've seen Meatloaf, I've seen Rush, I've seen Elton John. The list goes on.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Yeah.
Like,
so a whole spectrum of music. Yeah.
yeah. And I see the way they interact with the crowd. I've seen Weird Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way that he interacts with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, DJ is not on the mic and running around and doing his DJ performance, but how can you be influenced with all these guys who have done it and then take that into a DJ set?
Really branches into the performative element of DJing too. Right?
Yeah.
So when you are performing, and you're DJing, what are 2 or 3 non-music items you always have with you or carry with you?
My headphones, like DJ headphones.
I'm going to challenge you there, because I would classify that as something you need to do to operate. So like maybe something, not your USB.
Well, me being at a nightclub or whatever, I just drink water. I need water all times. I don't drink.
Okay.
I'm pretty minimal because I just show up.
Nice.
I just show up with my USB and hopefully friends.
Yeah.
and I just plug and play and just do my thing.
Nice.
I keep it super minimal. Earplugs, definitely stupid enough. I don't bring it enough. And that's one thing I should definitely have in my back pocket more often.
It's been really great having you on. I just have a few more questions for you.
Let's do it.
You've been doing this for some time now. Is there any particular moment where you felt really challenged by the industry or really like down about it? And how did you overcome that?
That's a great question, because when you have accepted this career of being an artist, you have to understand that it comes with challenges, and there are different challenges along the way, right? I'm super non-emotional when it comes to challenges, right? I'm not frustrated because it didn't work out, right? I put my best foot forward to get a venue or to go to LA, right? I'm not looking at a flight and be like frustrated because I can't afford it. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to challenges, there's not one that sticks out the most. It's just like a series of challenges.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
How do you have a mindset where you not only accepted it, but you somewhat embrace it and know like, hey, this is what it is, and it continues to fuel you and you continue to grow in the space.
The one question that you want to ask yourself is, what will become of me if I do this challenge, regardless of the end result? Because you will learn something. At minimum, you will gain experience. At minimum, there's no drawback. It might cost you money, but that is the price of that lesson. Like going to college, like you're paying money for these lessons, but in real life, you're also paying money for these lessons.
Sure.
Yeah, it might hurt a little bit, but then you're like, okay, there's so many lessons. I feel like I have scars. But my brother taught me this, right? Like if I'm dealing with an individual, right, that might present a challenge to me. I don't want to get too in depth, but like, yeah, I might have to be like, okay, this is going to cost me, let's say $200 or $1,000 or whatever. But if I just pay it and it solves the thing, then okay, that's the lesson I learned there. So I don't make the same mistake going forward with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So that's how you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any upcoming gigs or projects you're excited about and you want to share with us?
We have a Decoded event happening next week.
Okay.
Well, November 28th.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
This, I know
this will come out after that, but you will have had it by then.
It was so fun, guys. 2026, there's gonna be some cool stuff happening.
All right. And where can our listeners follow you and stay up to date with your music and what you're working on?
Sure. You can follow me at Spotify, you know. You can find me on Spotify. We have Decoded Radio
Okay.
on SoundCloud, so you can see us there as well. And we can see my sets there as well. And you can follow me on Instagram on at DJ MAFIA B, whatever.
Yeah. Well, Brian, it's been great having you on. I really appreciate you going in depth, sharing your story with us, and thanks again.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to that latest interview on Tiny Table Radio. It would help a lot if you hit that subscribe button now so I can bring on more guests and keep this show going. So hit that subscribe button now, and we'll see you next time.